Imagine you wake up, make your own coffee at home, and head out the door without the $6 cafe receipt in your pocket. You don't feel deprived, you feel calm, in control, and maybe even a little proud. That's the secret power of frugal living. Unlike budgeting, which can feel like a strict diet for your wallet, frugal living is more like choosing a healthier lifestyle. It's about being smart with what you already have, spending only on what matters, and letting go of the rest. In a world where prices keep rising and money stress feels endless, more people are discovering that living frugally doesn't just save cash. It makes life lighter, freer, and surprisingly more enjoyable. Right now, money feels harder to manage than ever. Prices keep climbing: groceries, rent, even streaming services. Many people are also feeling subscription fatigue. Every month, money disappears into gym apps, delivery passes, music, and video platforms. Add them all up, and it's no wonder so many of us feel broke by the 20th of the month. At the same time, strict budgets aren't working for everyone. They feel too heavy, like another set of rules we can't keep up with. In fact, surveys show that most people give up on budgeting within a few months because it adds stress instead of relief. That's why more people are turning to frugal living. Instead of writing numbers on a spreadsheet, they're finding simple, flexible ways to spend less, like sharing, reusing, or swapping. It feels natural, less stressful, and far easier to keep for the long run. Frugality versus budgeting. Budgeting, as most of us know it, is fairly modern. In the mid-1900s, when people started using personal checkbooks and banks offered new financial products, budgeting became a household word. It was a way to control money by writing down every expense and dividing it into neat categories. Over time, budgeting apps and spreadsheets made the process digital, but the idea stayed the same: track, count, and restrict. Frugality, on the other hand, is much older. People have practiced it for centuries. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, families reused everything, cooked from scratch, and made clothing last for years. In many cultures, frugality wasn't just survival, it was a value passed down, linked with community and resourcefulness. What's interesting is how frugality has returned today, but with a modern twist. Instead of being seen as old-fashioned or boring, it's connected to minimalism, sustainability, and intentional living. On social media, frugal hacks now trend alongside tiny luxuries, proving that living with less can feel stylish, smart, and even empowering. 1. Why frugal living wins over budgeting. 1. Freedom, not restriction. A budget often feels like a cage. Every dollar is assigned, and the moment you step outside the lines, guilt kicks in. Frugal living works differently. It's about making smart choices that bring freedom. For example, instead of paying for an expensive gym membership, you might walk in the park or join a free fitness group. You still get the health benefits, but without the stress of breaking a budget. It feels lighter, not like punishment. 2. Spending based on values, not numbers. Budgeting asks, how much can I spend on groceries? Frugality asks, what do I truly value? A family may decide to cook at home not because the budget says so, but because they love the bonding time. A young traveler may spend on one special trip instead of endless weekend outings. By connecting money to values, people feel more meaning in their choices, which makes saving easier and more natural. 3. Boosts creativity and resourcefulness. When you live frugally, you start seeing the world differently. A simple glass jar becomes a stylish storage container. An old chair can be repainted into a new piece of furniture. Instead of feeling limited, you feel inventive. This creativity often spills into other parts of life too, like cooking new recipes with leftovers or finding fun in low-cost community events. Budgeting counts numbers. Frugality creates ideas. That difference makes life more interesting and joyful. 4. Fits real life's ups and downs. Life doesn't move in straight lines, and neither do incomes. Gig workers, freelancers, or anyone facing rising costs knows this. Budgets can break the moment income changes, leaving people stressed. Frugal living is flexible. You can have no-spend weeks when things are tight and loosen up when times are better. It bends instead of breaking. This adaptability makes frugal living easier to keep up with, no matter what happens in the economy or your job. 5. Emotionally sustainable. Strict budgets can feel heavy and guilt-filled. Many people quit after a few months because they feel deprived. Frugal living, by contrast, is softer. It allows small joys, a coffee with a friend, a favorite snack, without labeling them failures. This emotional balance is why frugal living lasts longer. It's not about cutting everything. It's about cutting what doesn't matter and keeping what makes you happy. That emotional sustainability is why people stick with frugality year after year. Maria is a 32-year-old graphic designer living in Lisbon. A few years ago, she downloaded a budgeting app to get her money under control. At first, she was excited. Every coffee, every bus ticket, every snack, she logged it all. But after 3 months, Maria felt exhausted. The numbers stressed her out and she felt guilty every time she went over a category, even by a little. One day, she decided to try something different. Instead of tracking every euro, Maria focused on living more frugally. She started cooking big batches of soup on Sundays and also discovered her city's library offered free co-working space, saving her hundreds in cafe costs. 6 months later, Maria noticed her savings had grown by almost 20%. But more than the money, she felt calmer and happier. She wasn't chasing numbers anymore. She was living in a way that matched her values. Frugal living doesn't just save money. It reduces stress, builds confidence, and makes everyday life feel richer without the heavy weight of strict budgeting. 2. Simple tips to start living frugally. Start with what matters most. Instead of cutting everything, ask yourself, what do I really care about? Spend on those things and trim the rest. If travel matters, maybe skip daily takeout so you can save for trips. Try no-spend days. Pick 1 or 2 days a week where you spend nothing beyond essentials. It's a small reset that trains your brain to enjoy simple, free activities like walks, reading, or cooking. Create micro-luxuries. Frugal doesn't mean boring. Light a candle while you read, make a fancy coffee at home, or enjoy fresh flowers from your garden. Small joys keep life exciting without draining your wallet. Use digital tools wisely. Set alerts for price drops, download free budgeting reminders, or join local swap groups online. The internet is full of ways to save without extra effort. Build habits, not rules. Replace buying lunch every day with a weekly meal prep routine. Choose walking over short taxi rides. Habits stick better than strict rules. Allow small splurges. Leave space for treats. A frugal life works best when it feels balanced, not when every expense feels like a crime. But what about budgeting? Of course, some people will say budgeting works, and that's true. For people who love numbers, spreadsheets, and tracking every cent, a budget can feel safe and satisfying. It gives structure, and some truly enjoy that order. But here's the problem. Most people don't stick to it. Studies show that after a few months, many abandon their budgets because life is unpredictable and strict rules create stress. Frugal living doesn't throw away the idea of awareness. It simply changes the focus. Instead of tracking every expense, it helps you spend based on values and habits. Think of it this way. Budgeting is about control, while frugal living is about freedom with purpose. 3. Why frugality fits today's world. In 2025, money pressure is everywhere. Prices keep rising, housing feels out of reach, and even entertainment costs more with endless subscriptions. Many people are cutting back, not because they want to, but because they have to. At the same time, social media has turned frugal living into a trend. On social media, frugal hacks and low-spend challenges get millions of views. People share creative ideas, like growing herbs in small apartments or running no-subscription months. There's also a big shift toward sustainability. Younger generations especially want to live lighter on the planet, and frugal habits, repairing, reusing, and sharing, fit perfectly. What once felt old-fashioned is now seen as smart and modern. This is why frugal living isn't just about saving money anymore. It's about joining a global movement toward balance, creativity, and a healthier relationship with both money and the environment. Frugal living works because it feels natural, flexible, and human. Instead of being trapped by numbers on a spreadsheet, you make choices that fit your life and values. It's less about cutting back and more about living with purpose. That's why it lasts longer than strict budgets and often leads to more savings with less stress. The truth is, frugality isn't about saying no. It's about saying yes to what really matters. It creates freedom, space, and peace of mind. So, here's the challenge. Try one small frugal habit this week. See how it feels, and share your frugal wins with others. You might inspire someone else to start, too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.